couldn't come over on Saturday. Chaz, the schizophrenic, was in the background screaming so loud that they asked Bill to take the phone outside, which normally they don't let him take the phone anywhere. They make him stand where they can hear him talking to me on the phone. But no, when the schizophrenic is having such a scary outburst, screaming and yelling, and they don't want me to hear it, they send him outside. Yeah, he can have privacy as long as it's, working for them. I'm so sick of this. He's outside and he's joking around about, well, maybe he'll come over to Mom's on Friday. And he's like, well, but that's okay because I'll be there Saturday, right? And I have to swallow my stomach and say, and he knew. He's like, he knew, he could just tell. And I had to tell him that he couldn't come over on Saturday. Just to stay there at the nut house. I'm so sick of this. This woman, Susan Wehry, whatever her name is, Wehry, a supposed doctor, has never called me, has never emailed me. I have never heard from her once. She emails me to tell me that because of something I said on my blog, because I said my son is not a sex offender on my blog, that we cannot have unsupervised visits. And she makes some lame excuse about, well, she's concerned that I might not, provide the right supervision. I've been providing the right supervision for 6 years. That's bullshit. It's harassment. It's cruel. It's cruel. Now my son has to stay there. The only break he's gonna get for 2-3 days. He comes here to my house and I have a nice home. And I do nice things. We exercise. We eat good. We try to socialize with family and friends. And we work hard. We go to a therapist, a real therapist, who actually gives us things to do to help his brain, to understand his disability, to help him communicate better. But no, we can't do those things. We go to our exercise class with Sky. It was awesome. We go for walks in my neighborhood, and I supervise my son. I always follow that court order, no matter whether I agree with it or not, but I don't have to call my son a sex offender, because he's not. And I'll tell you another thing. 6 years ago, I asked for help from Northeast Kingdom Human Services. And boy, did I get it. They took my son and a 19-year-old girl to a hotel and left them there alone. My son has been paying ever since. 6 years. Because of one night, one day, that he was accused of doing something. Not convicted of it, but even if he had been, he would have had a much lighter sentence than this. They want to keep him forever. They don't want to let him go. And I'm reading all of their notes, all of their files, all their nasty little, and most of it's about me. You will find my name in these documents, probably more than you'll find his. because they've been building a case against me, and it's all insinuation, innuendo. They don't like, oh, it seems like he's in a bad mood when he comes home from his mom's house. Maybe he shouldn't go to his mom's house. Maybe he shouldn't ever see his, maybe he shouldn't go to his dad's house. Maybe he shouldn't go to his mom's house. Let me say, whose house should he go to? No, nobody's house according to them. No. He should just be up in the little house on the top of a mountain forever. You could give him some more drugs and totally numb him out. He won't talk then. He won't be making YouTube videos. This documentation tells me a lot about them. But I'll tell you, I'm reading these files, and all I can see is that my son needed help, pretty basic help, because he has a disability and he was moving into young adulthood, and we asked them for help. I asked them for help. Transitional living, life skills, social skills, safety and protection for somebody I knew was vulnerable until we were sure he could handle all of the social pressures of being an 18-year-old out on his own for somebody with a disability. I'm not stupid, and I love my kids, but I never get to see my other kids because I'm always doing this with my grandson, because I'm always doing this, fighting for my son, and I'll keep doing it. But he's up there on a mountain with a schizophrenic and some serious sex offenders and an epileptic who has such extreme seizures that my son watches this guy, sees, and he's not sure he's gonna die or not. What the hell, man? Governor Shumlin. Douglas Racine. Somebody. Seriously. Somebody. Susan Wehry, what is wrong with you? How cruel. No phone call to say, you know, that concerns me. But it doesn't matter anyways, because I've always supervised my son, and in all of this documentation, you will never find one incident where I have not supervised my son or been accused of not supervising my son, because I follow that court order. I always follow that court order. And I tell my son to follow that court order. Whether we agree with it or not, we know it's a court order. My son's done everything for 6 years. Everything. Everything they tell him to do. Do this, say that. Do this, say that. Write this. And it's... yeah, he's done it for 6 years. Come on. Really. He's 24 years old. He hasn't been with another person his age just to socialize. He's got all these friends who remember him and who liked him. He's a good kid. He's a fine young man. And man, I'm telling you, if anybody has ever learned a lesson, my son has learned a lesson. I have a sick feeling when this note is sick. You know how hard it is to enjoy anything. I used to go to the movies. I used to go to dinner. I used to hang out with friends. I used to go hiking. I used to go for runs. I used to go bike. I used to do all these things. Go to the Beasleys and listen to great music with great people. I can't. I can't enjoy anything. And if your son was in a nut house like this with workers like ridiculing, making disgusting, rude comments about his private parts. I mean, for crying out loud. These people are supposed to be, no, so they threaten to go into his doctor's appointment with him and stay in while he's having an exam, and then I don't let that happen. So then they like make rude comments about his genitals when he gets in the car. I couldn't even bring myself to write that on the blog, what this guy said. My dad did. We should not be doing this. Governor Shumlin, something. You have to do something. We have reporters. Everybody knows. How can anybody not do something? You can go on my blog and you can see all the different reports against. You can see all of them, and I'm gonna go. And I mean, I just can't believe this could go on any longer. My mind has a hard time accepting, understanding, because that seems bizarre. That this could go on longer. That everything that we know could somehow not be enough. But I know that this is a screwed up world. I know how the mind works. The mind does not want to believe things that are hard to believe. It doesn't want to believe humans are capable of the things we are capable of. Well, this wasn't very cathartic, I can tell you that. I still have that horrible, disgusting feeling in the pit of my stomach. But I have work to do. I have people to find, and stories to get, and YouTubes to make, because there are a lot more people that this man, that this program has been systematically squashing and beating down. And it's time we hear from some other people. And that resolutions program of Mr. Schoenberg's, lots of people have come through and know. Many don't say anything because they have to. You know, they have to keep their mouths shut. They have to do what they're told. Once they're done with it, then they talk. And I don't think it'll be too difficult. I'll take it ad on paper. I'll do whatever I have to do.